Are you an introvert? Do you hate do you value your own free time? Well, fear not, because I too fall under the introverted umbrella, and these are my tips to help you reset your batteries so that you can go out there and talk to people again. Here we go. So my very first tip is a pretty obvious one, namely reading. But it is, in my opinion, one of the best ways that you can let your brain reset from this overstimulation that is our online lives. Reading is one of the best ways to let your brain rest and de-stress before going to bed. And I actually read a research article that said that people who read more than 3.5 hours a week actually live longer. So if you just add half an hour of reading before going to bed each day, you can actually increase your life expectancy. I could honestly talk endlessly about the benefits of reading. It improves your memory, concentration, and even analytical skills. So now you have even more reasons to reread Harry Potter before bed. You're welcome. So the second habit I want to talk about is journaling, and journaling have similar benefits as reading, such as de-stressing your brain and improving cognitive abilities like memory. But even more importantly is that when you're an introvert, you're often quite introspective, so it's even more beneficial for you to write down your thoughts to get some kind of clarity of what you're going through. Sadly, I don't really like journaling. I think it's quite boring, which is why I've been looking for different journaling prompts that I can use. And one of them is from this book Storyworthy by Matthew Dix, where he talks about the homework for life. And what that means is essentially that at the end of each day, you should sit down and think about, if I had to tell a story about something that happened today, what would I tell? And this makes journaling a lot more fun because it makes you think back about your day and what was good about it. And I also find it quite fun to look back on what I've written several years later to see what I was doing, what I was thinking, even if at the time it seemed quite insignificant to me. So another fun thing you can do is practice a hobby. This is probably quite obvious if you already have a hobby that you're pursuing each evening, and if that is the case, I encourage you to try and find a new hobby that you can do. Personally, I've had a habit of playing the violin each evening, but because it disturbs some of my neighbors in these very thin walls, I've had to get creative and find new hobbies to do, such as learning a new language or just reading a bit more. I really like the habit of hobbies because, in my opinion, having hobbies is something that makes your life a lot more meaningful and increases your happiness. Number 4 is research something. There is something that is so comforting about finding this random topic and going into a rabbit hole of Google searches and finding all the information about it. For me, I recently tried to learn a new alphabet and a few different programming languages. And this is just something I do because I find it enjoyable. And you never know, sometimes something that you just randomly research on your own could actually help you later in life. And this is exactly why I cannot schedule in work time late in the evening, because there's always a big chance that I start thinking about Nordic mythology or something and I read about Thor and Freya for 2 hours. Okay, so we're at number 5, which is exercise. I usually try to exercise sometime before dinner because I notice that it's something that makes me more productive and keeps me mentally sane. And even if I don't have time, I still try to do some quick yoga flow because I find it very calming. And if you don't live in Sweden, where it's like minus 10 degrees in the evening, I suggest that you go for a quick evening walk. So tip number 6 is something I desperately wish I was better at, which is cleaning/clearing out my room. I have this slight problem with my room always being messy because I just put cleaning my room at the bottom of my priority list. To combat this problem, I try to put a 10-minute timer and see how much I can clean within those 10 minutes, because then it kind of becomes like a challenge and it's a lot more fun for me. And if I don't feel like cleaning, I try to clear out my closet by going through my clothes and see things that I don't like that I can give away, in another desperate attempt to become a minimalist. Okay, so routine number 7 is sort of a quick fix to de-stressing and feeling more excited about life, and that is planning out your week. So often when I'm feeling stressed or have a lot of things to do, I try to write them down on a sort of to-do list, because once you are on paper or on the computer screen, I realized that it's not that big of a deal and it seems a lot more manageable. Alongside that, I also try to write down kind of excitement points, if that makes sense, where I just write down things that I am excited about for the week, like going on a trip to a forest or meeting up with a friend. So the last routine is Netflix and chill, and no, I don't mean anything else. What I mean is that it's completely okay to be tired from work and university and decide to write an evening off completely and just sit down, put on a good movie or Netflix show and just chill out a bit and not think about anything important at all. I guess a lot of people would advise against watching movies late at night, but I still think that it helps me switch off my brain a little bit, so if that works for you, then go for it. And those are all the tips that I have. If you watched this far, thank you so much. If you like the tips or have any more, please let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because I'm trying to found my PhD with this YouTube channel. And a small disclaimer is that I actually made a video about this a few years ago, but the audio was so bad that even I couldn't watch it, so I just decided to re-record it. Anyway, thank you if you watched this far, and I'll see you if you choose to watch another video of mine.